Colin, great to talk to you.
Hey Matt, how
It's
you doing?
good. It's nice to see the lead characters from Jurassic Park mixing with those of Jurassic World. Was that always the intention when development started on the script for this?
For this, yes. When we first began, it was more of a pipe dream and a possibility, and it really took for me 2 movies to justify it and make sure that once they did come in contact with each other, that our legacy characters wouldn't completely drown out the new characters. We had to make sure they had a level of familiarity and an audience that cared for them too. And so when it finally happens, hopefully it feels earned.
It's the sixth film in the franchise. Obviously, we've learned a lot about the dangers of dinosaurs and how they can be helpful in a lot of ways. How do you keep things fresh and entertaining in terms of putting together a script for a long running franchise?
Well, I mean, it's a different kind of film than we've ever seen before. It's not just people going to an island that may or may not be safe. Dinosaurs are in our world, and it's a new set of challenges. But for me, I thought it was important to tell a story that was about the greater dangers of genetic power when treated irresponsibly. We are all living with the consequences of choices that we've made as humans, specifically over the past 30 years since Jurassic Park came out. And so, for us to be able to heed the warning that Ellie Sattler gave in the first film, that now that this is out, there's no controlling this power. I think we're really seeing, specifically through her storyline, what that means.
Visual effects have a big part to play in a movie like this. I remember one scene, Chris Pratt's lassoing a dinosaur. So how easy is putting all that together as a director?
Uh, what was most important is that there was always something really happening there. So when Chris Pratt was lassoing a dinosaur, uh, someone on a horse with someone ahead on another horse holding a parasaur that he actually roped. So what you're looking at when it tightens around that neck is real. So at every point, with all the animatronics that we used, all the puppetry, the 112 sets, just making sure that everything we were looking at was real, except what we couldn't make real, which is not a lot.
The music here by Michael Giacchino uses John Williams' iconic theme in certain places. How do you decide when to slot that in? It just brought back so much nostalgia for me.
We do it very carefully. And we're actually very cautious to do it. It is so iconic, but I think it would be easy to just fall into hearing it all the time. Michael is such a brilliant composer that I just want to hear his score. I want to get as much creativity and out of him as possible. And then once we have it, we look at the whole thing and wonder, okay, well, where can we weave something in where it would be most emotionally effective, so it doesn't feel like we're squandering it or we're wasting it in any way. It's so valuable.
And to finish, Jeff Goldblum, he gets so many good one-liners again here. I remember, like, I think he says, it's always darkest just before the eternal nothingness. So does he come up with a lot of that himself? Is it scripted? Is he much of a larrikin behind the camera as he's in front of it?
Well, a couple things, and a lot of it, very rarely, if ever, there on the day. We were living together, during this movie, all of us, and so I would take every Sunday. I would have pretty much the whole day where actors and I would sit together and look at what we were doing that week, and people would bring ideas to the table. And there's a lot of lines that the actors came up with themselves throughout the movie. And what I love about it is, even though Emily Carmichael and I constructed this story, there's just a sense that everybody is a different person. It's not written by the same people all the way through, and they all feel like individuals, which is a really hard thing to achieve as a writer.